Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my site. Thank you for coming back. Just wanted to talk about the news that broke today. If you haven't heard yet, our boy, Big Mac, Emmanuel Macron, has decided that he is definitely pulling for Palestine to become a Palestinian state. He came out today and said that the long-awaited meeting at the UN, uh, as of now, will finally take place this September at the UN. Um, if you remember, or you're part of our little community here with Emmanuel Macron, this meeting at the UN was supposed to be in July, but I mentioned to our people that I would love if this meeting was in September, because I always look for the rapture around the Feast of Trumpets, as many of y'all do also. And every year around September, it looks good for the rapture, and this is no different. This year looks great for the rapture. I think it's September 23rd is the Feast of Trumpets. So we're kind of looking forward to around that time. I'm not quite sure the day for this meeting at the UN, where Macron and I think Saudi Arabia will also participate with Macron at the UN. I'm not quite sure what the day will be, but I'm hoping it will be around the 23rd. That would be great. As I said, I really was looking forward to Emmanuel Macron being at the UN around this particular time, because it would be a great time considering the Feast of Trumpets. Emmanuel Macron coming out and announcing a Palestinian state, possibly the announcement of the special envoy for future generations. If you follow me, you know that I am pretty sure that job will go to the false prophet. Seems like a perfect description for the false prophet, a special envoy for future generations. If anybody could tell me what that means, I would like to know, other than the fact that this person will be in charge of the children around the world and putting together all of Emmanuel Macron's goals and the things that he wants to pull off to take over the world. And he'll have this special envoy helping him to do that. Uh, Part of this meeting in September, also, if you remember, I said last time that there was a meeting at the UN and they were talking about peace with the Palestinians. If you remember, the very next day in 1948, a war broke out because the Palestinians and the Arabs really don't want peace with Israel. They say they do, but they would like to just wipe them off the face of the earth. Who knows? There could be a war around the Feast of Trumpets this September also. And you know that I predict the Psalm 83 war, which will change the world, will also, if it does happen, I think it will happen around the same time as the Feast of Trumpets. Um, so there's a lot going on with that respect. Another respect that I sort of have in the back of my head is that since Macron is definitely going to be the co-signer of the Abraham Accords with Israel to fulfill the Daniel 9:27 covenant, I really can't see him doing that with Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, because they don't get along. And Bibi Netanyahu is not a big fan of Macron, especially since he wants to bypass Israel and make a peace agreement with the Palestinians. According to Netanyahu, that's never going to happen. And I agree with him. That's never going to happen. The people that have that verse in the Bible that talks about dividing the land, they're not understanding that verse. correctly. There's no verse in the Bible that talks about Israel dividing their land in the end days. It's just not there. There is a verse that says they will part their land, but they will not divide their land. And I'm not sure if that's the same meaning. And it also has nothing to do with the time that we're talking about. The dividing scripture that they're talking about has to do with later on during the tribulation period. So that scripture that they use, I forget what it is, has nothing to do with Israel dividing their land. Israel is not going to agree to divide their land with the Palestinians. Trust me, that is not going to happen. And as I was saying, I doubt that Bibi Netanyahu will be around to sign that peace treaty with Macron. And also, I have a feeling that America, I might coin the phrase that Europe must increase and America must decrease. And there's a lot going on in America right now that could possibly uh, lend to the fact of America decreasing, especially with what's going on with our dear president, Donald Trump. He's having a lot of trouble, and I'm not sure how it's going to end. So the two things that I see right now in response, in reference to around the time of the Feast of Trumpets is Netanyahu and Trump. Will they both be around during that time? I'm not sure. I'm just putting that out for speculation. And some of the other things, I'm going to put up a quote here. And one of the quotes by Macron, where he's referencing this September meeting at the UN, he uses the word solemn, Solemn. Now, if you know Macron, like I know Macron, he chooses his words very carefully. And to use the word solemn, I looked up some of the references to solemn and in the Bible, and a lot of it has to do with something called a solemn assembly. And it's usually around the time of the feast days. Again, Macron uses his words uh, carefully, and we need to consider that word solemn, what he means by that. And I'll put the quote up for you, and you can see it also. You can look at it yourself. So there's a lot going on. Will there be a war in September? Will it be the Psalm 83 war? Will Bibi Netanyahu, will Donald Trump still be around here? Will the Daniel 9:27 covenant take place? Will Emmanuel Macron goal to make peace with the Palestinians and grant them their own land? Will that start a war? I think it will, or it might. We'll have to tune in and see. So there's a lot going on. And also, how could I forget about Bridget? Bridget and Emmanuel, probably global news right now. I'm not sure how prophecy people, especially the pundits, the prophecy leaders that we see on TV and hear on the radio, how they still can't put two and two together. Look how Emmanuel Macron is starting to dominate the news, and they have to start thinking about Emmanuel Macron as the Antichrist. We've been following him for 8 years. There are a ton of stories, hundreds of stories proving that Emmanuel Macron is the Antichrist. I'll put the link right here for you to link it, look at it on our website if you're not watching this video on our website. And again, a lot of stuff happening. And this September, if they don't cancel it again, who knows? But if it is in September and we have Emmanuel Macron leading a conference at the UN, just such interesting stuff that's going on. And all of it leads to a Bible prophecy fulfillment. So if you're not on board with Emmanuel Macron, please look at our website. Please listen to the videos. Watch what's going on with Emmanuel Macron. It's not going to be King Charles. It's not going to be Donald Trump. It's certainly not going to be Obama. One of the few people that are left standing is Emmanuel Macron, and he's standing very high at this moment, and he will fulfill his destiny as the Antichrist. Okay, thank you.